Well, welcome to the April Fool's edition of TLC at TOC. I made quite a few changes. Ha! Seems like every time I get on this stupid GNC, I'm making changes. This is kind of going to show you what you can be looking forward to. Maybe. Still have a lot of things I want to do to it. I'm slowly but surely breaking away from the idea of having artificial, well, not artificial, but auto-generated trees. I I don't like the idea of not having the trees I want planted. I, it's a habit that I just can't break from. I don't like auto-generated. I can't do it. It's hard for me to get used to the fact that all those trees get thrown in there. I still may do it after I finish the entire course and plant what I want planted. But the trees that I will leave will not have anything to do with the ones on the actual course. It'll be just filler trees in the background. And it all comes down to a matter of how much time I want to put into it. I'm over 80 some hours now, and here I am, not even halfway finished, even though it looks like I'm making progress. Oh, jeez. Great putt. Nothing like misfiring. I'm not really sure on how fast I want my greens. That was really disappointing. The purpose of this video is not so much on how well I shoot. It's more or less to give me a guideline to come back and look at things that I probably wouldn't see when I'm actually in the GNCD. But if I rewatch the video, I may pick up on something I missed. Because of the fact that I know where this course is and how it's laid out, I tried to make the shadows for the time of the day that I'm actually set it up for, so the shadows would be going the direction of the sun's travel through the sky. And that has caused me a little bit of grief in its own right. can see over here, I might want to do something with this. Maybe not. I'll have to do some more research. That might be a little too high for me. Again, there's no way I can make this course the way it is in real life. I can only kind of get it somewhat close and make it kind of feel like it. And that's all the best I can do. For the most part, the fairways, the green shapes, and the bunker shapes will look something like the real course. However, the actual depth of the bunkers, the actual undulation of the greens, and the undulation of the fairways will not be identical or even probably the same. Those will all be my personal interpretation of how I wanted to do the course. Hence for the fact that the course won't be named what it is in real life. But the goal still remains to have a fun, challenging course. Yeah, looks like the April Fool joke is on my putting skills. I'm not even guaranteeing that the pin placements I have now are going to remain where they're at. Currently I used a front, middle, back theme throughout the course. I may change it. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to stick to that theme or not. I might do some research as to where the initial pin placements were for the 4 days of the US Open, if I can find that information. I'm noticing a little bit of stuttering here. Fraps is running. My settings, I think I have my details set at 3. My trees at 1,000, and the other one was like 425 or something in that range. And best way to look. Let's see here. Oh, maybe because my V-Sync's on, that might help if I turn that off. Oh, so my tree count wasn't up as high as I thought. With V-Sync on, I think I'll just go ahead and crank it up anyway. See what this does. I prefer to have it cranked up a little bit, just because of the shadowing and everything else. I like to have a good idea of how the course plays. But with fraps on, I have to kind of dial it back. See if that helped with my stuttering any. No, not the audio stuttering. The visual stuttering. As far as the first 3 holes, I'm pretty well satisfied with them. I may do a little more bunker work in this area. But for the greens and the actual layout, I'm pretty much satisfied with those. I was messing around with the green on this hole. I had it where I wanted it, and then I got dealing with the terrain again on 5 around the tee box area, and somewhere in the methodology of my madness, I screwed up my green. So now I gotta come back and repair number 4. Such is life. This hole is meant to be difficult. It's difficult in real life. The long hitter better be really good. Yeah, it's still kind of stuttering right along here. But the frame rate for the recording seems to be pretty solid. I'm not going to go and restart this all over again. I'm on limited time. This is more or less to show off, like I said, what I have accomplished so far, and it'll be as a guideline for me in future reference as I continue on. Maybe that wasn't such a wise idea to try to putt from there. Yes, this green's going to be a pain in the butt. I got to refix it. Refix it, redo it, straighten it out, do something. I don't know. This hole will get a little more attention too. That's going to cause me trouble. You need a fade on this shot, because if you hook it, that's going to be your end result. Another one of these fairways that has the counter cambered or anti-cambered, or however you want to describe it. It will work against you unless you have a well-placed shot. And that's the way the real course is too. You play the shot right or you suffer the consequences. I also decided to do away with the fringe on most of the holes. There may be some up by the greens, but there won't be along the fairways. The reason and the thought behind that is U.S. Open rough. The first cut of rough is about 3.5 inches, and the deep rough is approximately 6.5 inches. Well, in this game, your heavy rough is like 3.5 inches, so there's no real reason to justify using light rough. I guess I can use my light rough as fringe cut, and that was the plan. Still, the disappointment with the GNCD is my limitation on the firmness of the fairways, and the fact that the firmness of the fairways affect the firmness of the greens, and I really can't do much about that. To have a U.S. Open style course, you need a firm, fast fairway and a firm, fast green, but if you do that, then you cannot hold the greens on any shots, so compromises have to be the order of the day. Got more planning to do around those the tree trunks are driving me nuts. I don't like seeing toothpicks in the ground, and that's what those remind me of. It just looks unnatural to me. I see a lot of course designers do that. It's a pet peeve of mine. I don't like seeing a tree just planted into the grass and nothing around the tree trunk. It just looks really unnatural. So I will go back in and place bushes, grass, whatever it takes to kind of camouflage the base of the tree trunk. One of the tricks I use when I'm doing that is I will use some of the auto-generated grasses in that and try to plant a tree in that, so I don't have to do any more planting than necessary. Doesn't always work out the way I plan it though. That nasty bunker up there, it happens to be about the right distance with the real course. Unfortunately, they can hit 300 yards pretty easy off the tee. We cannot. So it takes a lot more accurate shot to get there, or you may find that bunker. Oh, or worse. looking at the split screen here. The 10th fairway runs behind this green. It's actually back in through here. Haven't done anything with the 10th yet. Wah. I really wished I had better selection of trees and how I could plant them to make them look more like the real course. Another, I have to compromise with what I have. And then I didn't want to overplant because of the frame rate. Now, if this was a countryside theme, it'd probably be even worse. I have my most difficulties with the country theme. As far as FPS hog rate, country theme, just the willow trees especially. If you get too carried away with them, if you get too many in any one particular screen refresh draw, you're going to stutter. It's going to really hack you down. Same thing with you using a lot of stairs and walls and retaining walls and all that other stuff for the lower systems. It becomes a real problem for them. So not everybody has high-end equipment. As much as I like to go overboard, it's really hard to do that and be considerate to the lower end users, especially in the case of if it's a course that's going to be for a tournament based design. You do have a lot of Xbox and PlayStation 4 players. They're not going to want to play your course if it's going to take a long time to load, or it's just going to have to be played at such a low detail, then it's not even fun to play. So those are things you should keep in mind when you're designing a course. I know they just updated the object list in GNCD. They give us all those fancy walls, fences, and everything else. I don't know what they're going to do with the frame rates yet, but I can only anticipate the fact that it's not going to be real nice. Oh, god dang it. So again, compromises are going to need to be made. I'm more into how well my course looks and played rather than throwing in all the bling. Okay, ball, you can stop anytime now. Yeah, bling's nice, but it has nothing to do with the actual course and how it plays. I much rather spend the bling on actual how it looks when you're on the course. All those fences and retaining walls, well, yeah, they're nice, but they don't have anything to do with the play. Maybe when I'm done with the actual course design and I get it playing the way I want, if the frame rates seem to be okay, then I may go a little more crazy with the actual bling addition. I'd like to do a nice little course logo up on the south side of this building, which is back in here. There's a lot of stuff I wished I could do, but seeing as how I can't have the cart path, and I don't have a road, and I can't have the tennis courts, and I can't have this and that and everything else, I might not even bother with it because it just would look out of place. It's time consuming for something. It has no playable value other than, oh, that looks cute. This is going to be short, dang it. Should have changed. Uh-oh. I'm pretty happy with the bunkers on this hole. I might have to do a minor little touch up, but for the most part I'm pleased with the way this is looking. Really wished I could have the proper building for up here. I might have to do a little more planning around it, but again, I'm pretty pleased with how it's looking. Not perfect, but if I can even get it within 60% of the actual course, I will think I've made a major accomplishment. That one tree is causing me hassles. I did have, when I originally placed this pin, the pin wasn't in the shadows. But when setting up the time of day and the shadows the way they're supposed to fall, well, it caused me a little bit of problem. That's just going to be, oh well, it is what it is. You gotta have a compromise. I suppose I could put the pin back in here somewhere, but it's not that bad. At least not on my system. This hole is the 9th. It's still got a few more things I gotta do, but it's from my last test release. You can see that there's been a lot of changes. It's starting to take on its nastiness. And the tee box for the 10th hole is right back over in here, and it runs down this way. I just kind of want to finish up the front 9 first before I even start playing around with the actual back. I may or may not. I just don't want to get too carried away. Like, I look at these trees, and like I said, this just drives me nuts. I cannot tolerate nothing around the tree. It just looks wrong. Oh, I actually saved par for a change. Alright, so that's pretty much what I have. The funny part I've noticed is, even though the distances of the course is correct, the actual course is 7170 yards. I am still at 7172. I'm 2 yards over the actual layout of the center line from tee box to center of the green. The course length itself will differ, but that's because of pin placement. My layout was all done from the beginning, center line, and everything from that point. So from that note, that concludes this April Fool's edition